Welcome to the Vintage Times, a program for older persons. On our program today, we will talk about smart technology. We'll talk about smart grids, smart meters, and smart switches that deal with our energy uses. These devices are smart because they know how to use computers to communicate with our appliances. Still, many of us would like to understand what smart means and how these devices actually help us with our energy uses. With me is Mike McMahon, who is Vice President of Smart Meters for Commonwealth Edison. And thank you, Mike, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And can you describe your job with ComEd to us, please?
Sure. Right now I'm the Vice President for Smart Meter Technology, and I'm responsible for deploying smart meters across our entire 4,500 square mile service territory. Okay. So all the way from Lake Michigan out to the Mississippi.
Oh, that's
Northern
a large
Illinois.
Area. Now you talked about meters. Can we talk today also about smart grids?
Sure.
Yeah. So can you explain a smart grid to us, please?
Yeah, well, the smart grid is, the grid that we all grew up with was an analog grid.
Okay.
It had no communications ability. So if you wanted to know what was happening on the grid or where an outage had occurred, maybe a wire had fallen down, you had to dispatch a human being, a trouble man, to go out and look to tell you what the condition was of the grid that he was looking at, whether it be in a substation or whether it be on a utility pole. The smart grid puts sensors and communication devices out on those wires so that now we can just basically make a cell phone call to a utility pole and say, tell me what condition you're in. And so therefore we're able to respond a lot faster to any kind of outage conditions that are going on, and we know and we can balance our power flows better to make the grid more efficient. So it's all about two-way communication technology.
And quick. It's very quick.
You can do it from your desktop computer right away.
Right away. So now how about smart meters? What are they?
Sure. Well, right now, what you have on the side of your house, and in this area, we've already deployed quite a few smart meters already. But right now you have this would be an analog meter. This is what's on the side of your house if it hasn't already been exchanged with a smart meter. And this is a dumb device. It has dials on it. It communicates no information whatsoever. If you want to know how much electricity you used, you have to send a person out to read those dials. So it does that's all it does. It's just a chunk of metal and plastic. The smart meter is a digital device. When it's energized, this will have a digital display in it. It has a small computer chip in it, and it has two small radios. One radio will communicate with us, sends us your usage information 6 times a day, once every 4 hours, and another small radio will communicate with you in the home if you choose to enable it. Now, how do you know you have a smart meter? Well, this is what it looks like. It's a digital display, And then right at the top, it will have a Silver Springs label, which is a Federal Communications label on it. So if you walk out and you see something like this on the side of your house, you have smart meter.
And how can I, again, how do I tell the difference? How do I know it's a smart meter?
Well, it looks like this, and
Yeah.
it's a digital display, so it'll have numbers right here.
Okay.
And then it'll also have right up here, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but it has a small barcode with a Silver Springs
Okay.
label on it.
Okay.
It says SSN.
Okay.
And that's the Federal Communications Commission label that identifies it as a two-way communicating device.
Okay. Do I have a choice in having a smart meter, or do you install it anyway?
Well, we can, let's go through the installation process. So about 90 days before we install a smart meter, you'll get a bill insert, looks like this. And then 60 days in advance, you get a postcard saying smart meters are on their way.
Okay.
And then 30 days in advance, you get a letter saying we're going to be in your neighborhood in the next 30 days. Please leave your gates open and your dogs in. And then 10 days in advance, we'll give you a robocall, and it'll say in the next 10 days we'll be in your neighborhood installing smart meters. The day of, the technician will approach the residents. He'll knock on the door, answer any questions they may have, and then he'll go ahead and exchange the meter. If you're not home and he has access to the meter, he'll go ahead and exchange the meter. And then he'll leave you a door hanger that looks like this saying, congratulations, you have a smart meter. 30 days in advance, you get another postcard saying, congratulations, you have a smart meter, and please go online, sign up to take advantage of it. It gives you your account number to help you do that, and then another 30 days after that, you get a final postcard. So lots of mailings, lots of notifications. Now, you can refuse. You don't have to consent to have a smart meter, but you can refuse not to have one.
Okay.
Now, if you choose and say, I don't want a smart meter for any reason, and we're not particular on what the reason is, we're going to ask and try to educate our customer on this point. But if you don't want a smart meter for any reason, you do not have to have one at this time. Now, there will be an additional charge of $21.53 placed on your bill, and that charge will currently is allowed to extend out to the end of 2022. Now, you say, well, why is that? The smart meter, as I said, transmits its information to us 6 times a day. So we don't have to dispatch a meter reader to your property anymore to read the meter. And by the way, that really resonates with a lot of folks. We consider that a safety issue. We don't have to put our employees at risk with dogs in unsafe neighborhoods. And for the seniors, particularly the seniors, they don't have to worry about who that person is in their backyard anymore.
Exactly.
So we don't have to dispatch that meter reader. But if you refuse to have a smart meter and keep your analog meter, which you can do, then I do have to dispatch a meter reader to go out and read just your meter every month. And the point is that should you, Hannah, pay for Mike saying I don't want a meter?
Right.
And the answer is no, you should not have to pay for my refusal. I should pay for that.
Right.
And so, yes, you can refuse the meter, but there is a charge associated with it.
Is there a reason why I should refuse it, or is it just a lack of education that I need to understand what the smart meters do? Right. Yeah.
Well, the smart meters offer a lot of different benefits.
Yeah.
One, they allow us to do outage detection. So when you lose power at your house, the smart meter will notify of us of that. It's called a last gasp.
Okay.
And so we'll know. You won't have to call anymore. We still want you to call, but you won't have to call. And we'll know you're out of power. So outage detection is one. You can go online the very next day to see how much usage you've used. You can get high energy usage alerts. So if you're using more energy this time of year than you did a year ago, we'll send you an alert saying you're using more energy. You need to check that out. And then we have a program called Peak Time Savings. And Peak Time Savings is a program available if you have a smart meter. And if you sign up for that program, it's your choice. Smart meters are all about choice. If you sign up for that program and you choose to use less energy on the hottest days of the year, and we'll notify you, we'll call you and say this is a Peak Time Savings Day. We'll give you a credit for reducing your usage of $1 per kilowatt hour.
Okay.
Most people save $4 to $6 an event. We have had some folks that have saved $33 on an event. And I think they must have turned their whole house off, and I'm not suggesting you do that. But if you reduce your usage, you can save.
Right.
If you choose to do nothing and just use electricity as normal, there's no penalty.
Okay.
So this is a terrific program. There's no downside to it. You can only win, and we really do encourage people to sign up for it.
People will ask, are these devices safe?
They are safe.
Okay.
We have our meters, we have our meters UL certified. So we're the only utility in the country that has insisted our meters be certified by Underwriters Laboratory for their safety.
Okay.
They're fully compliant with the Federal Communications Commission. They operate well below FCC guidelines. So our meters are safe. And the primary concerns people have around it is data privacy. We do collect the interval usage once every 30 minutes. So some folks are concerned that we might give that energy usage to other folks, other companies. That one's an easy one to answer. We will not.
Okay.
We'll only do that in 3 circumstances. It's required by law, it's anonymous, or you ask us to.
Okay.
And then there's data security, which is you can hack into my meter.
Yeah.
And we do employ state-of-the-art cryptographic techniques.
Yes.
And we are able to update that periodically. We hire people to hack into our network. And if they do identify a vulnerability, we plug that.
Okay.
But nobody's going to, I'm certainly not going to tell you anything's hack-proof these days. I mean, just yesterday I heard Yahoo got hacked.
I know.
But even if somebody could hack into your meter,
best.
all they're going to get is the energy usage in kilowatt hours and a serial number. There's no personal information in that data stream.
No name, no social security.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. And then finally, some folks are concerned about the health effects of meters. It does have a small radio in it. Total on time in a day is less than 5 minutes for that radio. And some people are concerned that that will have health effects. And there have been hundreds of studies associated with this, and there's just the vast weight of scientific evidence says there's no risk to this. And plus, the meter's usually on the outside of your house.
I was going to say, it's outside the house.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're really concerned about the health effects of meters, the first thing you need to do is throw this away. Because your cell phones have a lot more radio frequency than any meter does. And I don't know anybody that wears a meter next to their head for 30 minutes.
Is there any effect of the meter on this device?
There is not.
Okay.
There is not. We've had a few cases where there's been some interference with what's called a ground fault interrupter on older plugs in the home. You just replace the plug, $8, and everything is fine. You have a more senior audience here. Some of the questions we get is, well, will that affect pacemakers? And the FCC, FDA, when they require their manufacturers to shield the pacemakers against any radio frequency. Most of the studies are, in fact, on cell phones. So there should be no effect for folks with pacemakers and smart meters.
That's comforting.
Right. And of course, if they're concerned, talk to their doctor, but there should be no effect whatsoever.
Okay. That's important. Now, there was one more smart device, a smart switch.
Correct.
What's a switch?
Correct. So you can actually see these when you drive around on the street. When you're driving around and you're looking at the utility poles, If you see a white antenna on the top of one of those, that's one of our communications devices. So that's a smart communication device. And then when you drive around, you may see, it looks like a big box, rectangular box on the top of a pole. And we call that a smart switch or a distribution automation device.
Okay.
So the way these devices work is when you get your power, it comes out of a substation and it runs down that main line. We call it a main line. That's the 3 wires you see running down the street. And typically, if there anybody along there has an outage, everybody has an outage.
Oh.
And what these switches do is they isolate the outage and they reroute power to those who aren't affected by it.
Oh.
It's called the self-healing feature of the grid. And you can actually see this in your house. Now, have you ever seen your lights blink out and they come back on?
Yes.
Well, then you have a smart switch. Because what will happen is when there's an outage, maybe a tree branch falls across wires, or, you know, an unfortunate squirrel has chosen to go the wrong way. The switch will interrupt power temporarily to give that branch time to fall off. And then it will close back in. So that's your power. You lose your power. About 5 seconds later, it comes back on. The switch is trying to say, okay, are we okay now? If that branch is still there, or the outage is still there, it will open again. And this time for a little longer, about 30 seconds, trying to give a chance for that condition to heal itself. And then it'll close back in. And then if that outage condition is still there, it will open a third time and you're out of luck. We got to dispatch a troubleman. So you can actually count, you know, power out once, back on once, power out twice, back on twice, power out the third time, you're out of luck. It's going to be an hour or two, because then we have to dispatch a person.
Okay.
We've got about 2,500 of these switches on the system right now.
Okay.
And they've helped reduce over 1 million outages so far.
Well, that's important. We need to know how much you've prevented with all this smart technology. We don't know. You're preventing a lot of
We are.
outages.
We are. Our outages we have record reliability this year, and that's on top of record reliability last year. And because of the nature of the smart switches and the smart meters, we're able to, when you do have an outage, we're able to restore it much quicker.
That's so important, especially in this cold weather.
It's
just very important. Now, can you discuss the peak time savings?
Yep.
Can you explain that?
Well, I mentioned that a little bit before, but peak time savings is a program you can sign up for if you have a smart meter. And what the peak time savings program will allow you to do is on the hottest days of the year, if you reduce your energy usage, we'll give you a credit. We'll calculate what you would otherwise use, and we'll give you a credit of $1 per kilowatt hour.
Okay.
Typically, people save about $6, $4 to $6 an event. We run 3 to 4 events a year. Some folks have saved up to $33.
Okay.
If you can only win on this program, if you choose not to do anything and use your electricity as normal, that's fine. There's no penalty whatsoever. And if you really want to reduce the usage, it means just turning your thermostat up a few degrees just for the period that we'll notify you
in the
on.
summer.
Yeah, and we'll call you. We'll call you and say, today is a peak time day between noon and 4 o'clock, for instance. So between those hours is when we want you to reduce your usage.
Okay, so give us a few tips in addition to the energy use and
Sure, the way you can really reduce your energy usage is mainly the big usages of electricity in a house are your air conditioner, electric heat, and if you have electric hot water. Those are the big ones. And just adjusting those a few degrees in either direction can really help save money. LED TVs, these big fancy TVs we have now, they use a lot of energy. And even when they're off, they still consume energy. It's called vampire load.
Okay.
So you should put on a energy strip behind that TV, and when you're not at home, you should turn it off.
Okay.
So it doesn't consume any electricity while you're there, while you're not home.
That's important.
You can shift your load. So most people are on a flat rate. They pay the same amount of electricity day or night. But there is a program called RealTime Rates, or residential hourly usage, and electricity rates actually fluctuate during the day. And at night they go way down because there's an oversupply of electricity at night. So you can use less electricity, or you can shift your load to the off hours. And you can do that by waiting to do your wash at night. Or on the dishwasher, it has that little 4-hour delay button.
Right.
Just hit the delay button when you load that dishwasher up so it runs at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Dishes are still as clean, but you shifted your load to times when the price of electricity is less and there's more of it available.
Okay.
So both of those ways can help you both save energy.
So that's important. We can work with our thermostat. We can shift our energy
Correct.
usage to nighttime.
Correct.
And save energy and save money.
Correct.
Both, right?
And if you're interested in these real-time rates, we do have about 10,000 people on this program.
Okay.
Just call 1-800-EDISON-1
Okay.
and tell them you're interested in real-time rates or hourly residential usage, and they'll get you to the right person.
It's a win-win, and if I use more energy, I'm not penalized, right? So
Well, you pay the same price,
yeah, I pay
so
the
you
same.
pay more.
Yeah.
But and there is some risk with hourly pricing, that on really cold days of the year or really hot days of the year, that price of electricity can
Yeah,
go up.
right.
So you do have to pay attention to what you're doing with it.
Have to pay attention.
You do.
Now, you say somewhere that you will be greener, you will use more energy efficiency, you will use wind and
Sure.
solar.
Sure.
Yeah, is ComEd doing that?
Well, we are. ComEd does support solar and wind. Exelon, our parent company, has a 10-megawatt solar station in the south side of Chicago, largest urban solar station in the world, really. But the smart meters will support solar power, rooftop solar power in particular. It's through a mechanism called net metering. So when you put solar panels on your house, there may be times of the day when you are using less electricity than the solar panels generate.
Okay.
In that case, the solar panels will send the electricity back into the grid.
Okay.
And the smart meter is set up to calculate that.
I see.
It's called net metering.
I
So the smart meters come enabled for net metering. Just as they support wind power, because the smart meters come enabled to support this residential hourly usage, and wind generally blows at night.
Right.
Wind really blows between about 10 o'clock and 5 a.m. So there's a lot of wind energy at night.
Right.
And if you can shift your load to the evening hours, you're taking advantage of that renewable energy source. And if you have an electric vehicle, you want to charge your vehicle over the evening hours and pay less for it through the hourly usage program.
There's so many important tips. More and more people have these electric cars.
They do.
They do. It's a good thing.
They do.
Charge them at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Now, if I don't use ComEd for my energy, can I still participate in these peak time savings?
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't care who your energy supplier is.
Yeah.
We're glad to get you to sign up.
Yeah. Okay. So you will let me know what my energy usage is on a continuing basis, right?
Yeah, we do. You can sign up for what's called high usage alerts. You can sign up for weekly energy alerts, where we'll send those to you by either email or mail, however you'd like to receive them. You can one other energy tip would be, is sign up, get us to come out and do an energy audit of your home.
Oh.
So we have energy efficiency experts. And if you give us a call and ask for it, we'll come out and we'll, no charge, we'll audit your home, we'll tell you where you, what you could do to increase the efficiency of your home. And you get some free stuff too. You know, they'll bring out a couple free LED light bulbs and give that to you. They'll put in some water restrictors to help you reduce your water usage. It's all at no charge. And then if you do this, you can also ask them to provide at a discounted rate. You still have to pay a little bit, but these smart thermostats you see on TV so much.
Oh.
So we have discount programs for those as well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I will tell you, I have a smart thermostat, and you know those letters you always get every month telling you how you're doing against your neighbor? You get them and they say, compared to your neighbors, you're good or great.
Right, they compare.
Well, before I got my smart thermostat, I was not good. I was always not good. But I got my smart thermostat, and now I'm great.
Oh, wow.
So it's had a big impact on my home.
So if I call you and ask for an audit, you will not only do an audit,
right.
You will show me how to get all these
we will.
Saving equipment.
We will.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you about what you can do in your home, what kind of equipment we have that we can provide you at a discount, and we'll even help install it.
That's wonderful. Thank you so very much for very important information.
Sure.
Is there anything else of importance you'd like to tell us?
Well, at ComEd, we like to say we power lives. So we're providing you the not only the energy, but we want to provide you the tools and the information for you to use it wisely and efficiently. And we just encourage you to get your smart meter, sign up online, take advantage of our programs, and manage your electricity so that you pay only what you need to.
Okay. Thank you so very
You're
much,
welcome.
Mike. And thank you for joining us today. We hope you learned about all these smart devices that help us save energy, help us have more efficient energy, help us save money, and save energy. So be sure to avail yourself of these programs, and you can ask for an audit. ComEd will come to your house and help you with answering so many questions. If you want to contact Mike at ComEd, his phone number is, what is it, Mike? It is 866-368-8326. And thank you again for joining us today.